Hello, friends, and welcome to the second Sunday of Eastertide. Today might be slightly different as far as the blogs go, because I just want to spend some time reflecting on the passage from Luke chapter 24, verses 13 to 35, which is the walk to Emmaus. And to be honest, it may not have as much of a direct point, but only talking about some things that I've noticed and that I noticed while studying and reading this text for a bit. And what I find so interesting about this text is that the disciples, Cleopas and the other disciple that were walking along and are approached by Jesus, it says that their hearts were kept from recognizing him. And when they ask, "Are you the only stranger that doesn't know?" That's done in my mind. That question is asked with such sincerity and such forthrightness of grief that I find it just very arresting. And what that leads me to think about is, in my life, what expectations of Christ and what things that I think I know firmly and so firmly about Jesus, what things are there that maybe I think I know too much about to where they obscure the bigger picture and the more wild and more explosive, overwhelming joy of Christ and the things that Christ would show me if I only let go of what I was expecting or what I thought Christ would look like or appear like or come in the guise of. I don't know if that makes any sense. But that's just what occurred to me right off, and I'm also struck by the fact that Jesus takes the time to explicate and explain all the prophets and all that has happened to him and to the people up until that point. And it was only in the breaking of bread that the disciples truly recognized Jesus. At that moment, when he broke the bread, it's as if the scales fell from their eyes. And then they say, "Were our hearts not burning within us as he was speaking?" Almost as if to say, we knew this was him. We knew something was going on. And we knew something was moving within us even as he was speaking. I both find it heartening as someone who believes in the power of fellowship and a good meal to reveal the power of the risen Savior. And I find it very interesting that this seems to be a call to notice those small times when our spirits are being roused and when our hearts are being moved. So I'm going to take that with me on two fronts this week. I'm going to try to notice those small moments when my heart is being stirred to recognize the Christ both in the world around me and in the others that I am with. And I'm going to look for moments of fellowship, maybe in the breaking of bread or the sharing of a good meal or a good snack with my son, to where the Christ and the ways that God would seek to interact with me are stirring in my soul. This is one of my favorite stories. This is a story that's very mystical, which I like a lot. This is also a story where, I don't know, Jesus seems to be maybe a little insensitive to those that are grieving, and maybe, we only have the words that are written down. I tend to think that he had explained what had happened with a great deal of compassion, and perhaps some of that compassion gets lost in the written account. But I urge you to reflect on the road to Emmaus and your own Emmaus experience throughout this week and see in what ways you are encountering Christ and in what ways God is asking you to open your hearts and both notice and be noticed by God. Thank you, friends. Have a wonderful Easter Sunday, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.